Every single day for the last 2-3 weeks, I've been waking up, checking Twitter 5 in the morning, 6, 7, 8, 9 in the morning, and seeing if there's been any updates, right? And I must say, this has been some of the best stuff that we've been covering, not only just myself, but content that I've been watching. It seems like, for not saying that for the first time, but a little better this time around with consistency, with people not just blatantly giving crazy takes. Yes, there was a time where there was so many different leaks and everybody just ran to the internet dropping videos on leaks. And it seemed like at any point people just wanted to drop something that they could just gravitate to. But it's looking more so like people are so thoroughly invested. And I hope to see this with like more video games that are coming out, whether if it's a new Batman game or something. I want to see more people invest their time as well, including myself, into like breaking down what we know and stuff like that. Because that's what I came from with YouTube at first, like years ago. I love stuff like that. So shout out to all the creators who've been cooking on the content, man. But today we got a special video. I literally looked over so many different screenshots, the trailers over and over. I looked at every single thing that's been going on with GTA 6. And I came up with like 8 or 9 big features and things you'll be able to do or commit to in GTA 6. And you guys could let me know if I'm a little bit out of pocket, because at first, before we got any gameplay, before we got anything, the thoughts or the coulda, woulda, shoulda beens, or the ideas of and the fantasies of GTA 6 and what could be there, you know, I know it was a little bit extra, especially when there was no news, but we was all just playing like GTA roleplay and 5M, and we had this whole idea that, oh my God, imagine they do this. But now that we finally have at least some substance, we can give thorough and actual consistent takes to what may be in the game. So let's talk about it, man. And once again, if you guys can kindly, man, hit that like button, it would go a long way, and I appreciate y'all so much. So we got like 8, 9 features. I might do like a toss in, like I might throw one extra in for GTA 6 that could possibly be there, that most likely will be there based off of all the research that I've done. Start off with this. Jason and Lucia have always known the deck is stacked against them. But when an easy score goes wrong, because again, something happens where they have like a botch heist, and that's what creates this whole story, this whole thing. So we don't know if it's going to be just one big heist that they did that caused them to get like known in the streets and there's a whole big conspiracy going on. We don't know yet. Or is there a series of criminal events that they could commit to? It says they find themselves on the darkest side of the sunniest place in America, in the middle of a criminal conspiracy stretching across the state of Leonida, forced to rely on each other more than ever if they want to make it out alive. Okay, now let's talk about it. From all the trailers, from all the screenshots, these are 8 or 9 things that I feel will be implemented. Again, you will be embarking on some sort of Bonnie and Clyde storyline. However, I know people don't want to see it end up like Bonnie and Clyde, because the ending to their life was crazy. I think they had like everybody in town, all the police officers right there in the standoff, and they were in their car and they got hit with like 135 shots. I don't think we want to see that happen to them, but that would be insane. I think it's going to be a little bit different. Okay. And you guys could drop your comments right now. It's early, but what do you guys think? You think Jason's going to set her up, or you think she's going to end up killing Jason? I don't know. Something's going to happen though. Same thing with GTA 5. You had to choose who you wanted to keep alive. Okay, I believe there's going to be a bounty system. This is going to be one of the first true bounty systems in a Grand Theft Auto game. Red Dead has one, and I feel like it was a way to compromise because their worlds were a little bit different than the modern day era world where we relied on the stars and cops and military and everybody to come in. I feel like with Red Dead, I love the bounty system. If you commit crimes in these areas of town and you try to come back, they might recognize you. They will call authorities, or sometimes the public might try to kill you in Red Dead 2.
What a boy.
And I think the only way you were able to get away was if you like change your identity, like you put on different outfits or a mask.
I'm down.
Hands up. No fuss now.
Okay, you got me.
To kind of mask or hide your identity. I feel like due to them being a Bonnie and Clyde type of couple and how intense this world is going to be for them, I feel like whatever crime they commit, they may have a bounty system that's going to be game changing. So depending on, one, you getting away from all this and you trying to escape, the botched heist or whatever the story tries to start you off as. I feel like whatever other crimes you you as Jason or Lucia commit to, if you get caught or you do things in broad daylight, faces being shown, and you don't prepare yourself, I feel there's going to be a bounty system where they're going to be looking for you. I feel like they're going to implement the news, the TV system in there, because in the trailers, you see they showcased and broadcasted different news outlets on there. Even though they resemble funny things that did happen in Florida or Vice City, you want to say, it seemed like that's going to be a big influence, a big push in that game, especially with social media, because there's some other stuff I'm going to mention later. But basically, you can host parties, find events, and find like stuff to do through the phone in that game. What goes along with that is a lot of the screenshots that we've seen in comparison to that one trailer that we saw, the muscle mass integrity. Now, a lot of people are talking about it, and one thing that confuses me is when people saw one of the screenshots of Jason on the boat, they looked at him like, oh wow, they dubbed the graphics, and I'm like, no, the graphics still look good. It's just he looks slimmer. She also looks regular. She don't look toned. She looks regular, like she doesn't look toned or anything like that. In other screenshots or whatever, she looks more toned when she's walking with the dress, her skinny waist and everything, like she looks more toned, whatever. So in my head, I'm like, wait a minute. We've seen him working out. We all know this already. We all know that they're going to have a muscle system similar to San Andreas. I think this time around, Rockstar said we have to pick apart all the popular systems, all the popular features, and all the GTAs, and we got to go out with a bang on GTA 6. It's been 13 years. So I feel like if you look at that muscle tone from that one trailer, you know from the first trailer he's working on the beach, there's probably going to be a setting or a place where you can go ahead and work out. The big question is, how often do you have to work out? Do you have to have a lot of food intake throughout the day? Are they going to have features like that implemented into the game? Also, you know they're not going to show you fat in any of the screenshots right now. That's a big spoiler. I don't think they want to show that yet until they're ready to show actual in-game gameplay. So they're not going to do that. But I think the the fitness muscle life feature in the game would actually be awesome. I think it's kind of cool. It's something to give a life simulation sort of kind of place in game. It made a lot of people want to work out as CJ, even play as fat CJ. Like, who knows? We might play as fat Jason, but it might also affect our attributes, which I also think might be in the game. I feel like there's going to be certain things, and that's going to lead me to my next part, the next feature, number 3, that I feel is going to be implemented in the game. Now, to piggyback off of the muscle mass and life simulation kind of trait they may have in the game for you, I feel like to some degree, they're going to actually implement a perk system. Of course, it's a Bonnie and Clyde storyline, right? So there's going to be some drawbacks, some pros, some cons within both. There's going to be some skill sets that Lucia might be only good at and Jason may not be good at, and vice versa. So I feel like they're going to introduce a perk system where you may need Lucia for certain jobs, or you may need Jason, or both. I feel like even if they add this whole muscle mass integrity feature, this technology where you get to live a life sim, I feel like that's going to be integrated with your stamina, with your skill set, the way you swim, hunting, and all these other variables, being able to get into areas. Because I do want to say it now that we're minutes in, I've seen a lot of leaked gameplay. I think many of you guys seen leaked gameplay. I do want to say that many of it came from like 2022, but also just recently, I just seen more leaked gameplay on Twitter. And I'm not going to lie, you know, the fake gameplay versus the real gameplay. The fake gameplay is trying to hit all bells and whistles on the details, but they're also getting a lot of little bit of the imperfections and a lot of things wrong. I will not link anything, but I've seen some stuff, and therefore everything I'm about to say from this point forward is just giving a little bit more like respect to it, because I've seen some features as well. Many of you guys probably seen it as well. So I feel like with these perks being more stealth-like, because they have features in the game, mechanics, where you're able to kind of move around in vehicles. You could get out of vehicles while it's being driven and move in a 360 angle. Like, you're able to do a lot of stuff. In the hacked gameplay, I mean, in the league gameplay, you can see how they're moving around more tactical in certain areas where there was cameras. You can see where there was animals supposed to be in place based off of whatever was shown. And you can see how they were trying to maneuver, which also leads to something later that I'm going to talk about. But there was a lot being shown. I also see the way they're trying to hide their identity in the game. Again, you could take it all with a grain of salt. You don't have to believe me at all that I've seen leaked gameplay. It obviously was like preview builds, but there was also something I just seen, and I don't know why it was shown, and that person did not get banned on Twitter. I don't understand why he did not get banned. I'm not trying to, hey, look, I'm not trying to dirty Mac his shit. Sidebar. Thank you for showing me that. I got excited seeing that. Now, he didn't show me, but he showed everybody that piece of gameplay. I was shocked. I feel like you're going to need both of them to be up on their attributes, as well as the fact that Jason Duval, he did have a troubled past when he was a teen, and he ended up going to the military. So we know from his tattoos and everything else, he is basically military background. He's no longer in the military, of course. He finds himself Lucia. So I feel like he's going to come in with already certain skill sets, but I also feel like a lot is going to happen with something I'm going to mention later. And I think Lucia is going to have her set of skill sets. Believe it or not, Rockstar don't give a shit. They make sure that we know it's just all going to be story worthy. I feel like Lucia is going to be luring men in like more of a, not saying sexual way, like to do something, but she's going to lure them in with like her prowess, like trying to be kind of cute with it, whatever. But if it depends on the mission, remember, it's a duo. They're going to set motherfuckers up. That's how I feel like it's going to go down. Number 4, and it's very obvious from the trailers and the screenshots, the pre-order bonuses, owning body shops, owning car body shops, owning mod shops, owning clubs, mansions, hideouts, etc. I feel like the way this game is being put out, they've seen how influenced every GTA game is and a lot of their popular titles from the past. I also see that they recognize how big 5M is and all the modded features that were added there that people love. And people love the idea of owning their own little weed shop in 5M, or owning a clothing store, or working for a fast food chain, or even working in some of the clubs in those 5M servers. In the past, Vice City and other GTA games, you were able to own lots, a garage, a house, a mansion, a club in different GTAs. Obviously, I feel like they're going to implement that feature. With the pre-order bonus, you get to have an exclusive shop only open for the Ultimate Edition. I feel like that goes hand in hand with the opportunity that in game, you may be able to deal out whatever money and be able to own certain stuff too. Again, it's a Bonnie and Clyde story, but in the modern day era. So it's almost like a Scarface, Bonnie and Clyde mixed with like being that guy who's going to own shit like a Don. Like, you know what I mean? That's how I look at it, but as a couple. Now, number 5 and 6, I'm actually going to mention them together in one, even though they're both separate. But I believe they're going to have hitman jobs. Of course, they're going to have hitman jobs and bank heist. I know for a fact GTA, well, Rockstar also recognizes how popular the heists are, how popular it is to do bounties in Red Dead, how popular it is to have recruitments in 5M. Again, I hope you guys understand that Rockstar GTA 5's 5M is being heavily influenced into this game in terms of like the aesthetic, the features, and what they saw worked and kept this game kind of going, because they realized the PC version of GTA really held it together for nearly like 8-9 years. So I feel like for 5 and 6, for 5, it was really hitman jobs and bank heists. I feel like they're going to try to find opportunities to rob banks, rob cars, complete tasks. They might find like a middleman somewhere, or like some sort of drug head or somewhere, and you're gonna have to do missions for him too. And it's like you might have to rob a spot, like rob a store. You may have to rob like 4 sets of cars, like Gone in 60 Seconds, one of my favorite movies, one of my favorite car movies. And you may have to endure in some of that. It's Florida. There's a lot of cocaine in Florida, so you're gonna have to be doing a whole bunch of stuff. Who knows? For club owners in the game, there's going to probably be a lot that's going to be happening. There may be crooked cops. We don't know yet. But I also now want to add on number 6, which was the recruitment system. I think they're going to have a recruitment system. They've seen how well it worked with GTA 5. You had that one guy, I forgot his name already. Lester. I forgot his last name, but Lester. You guys remember Fat Lester? So pretty much you would call him, whether online, single player, doesn't matter, and he can go ahead and help you reclaim your possessed vehicles. He could deliver stuff to you. He can call like whatever with the cops and help you out. Even with like hospitals and stuff like that for the emergencies, like he was like your plug guy you can call. I feel like they're gonna implement that into GTA 6, probably even more in depth, but in a recruitment style. I feel like they may even incorporate some sort of way where you can have this recruitment to, or join something that might happen. Like they might have a dark web similar to GTA 4's dating site. When you would go into a cafe, they may have something like that, but as a dark web, and you get to join other people's stuff and meet up with other people. I feel like this game will be that massive. It will absolutely be like 10 times more advanced than it was in GTA 5. Of course, you would even see in Red Dead Redemption 2, there was a system where you can go ahead and seek out those bounties and take out people that's been committing unlawful crimes. There's a lot of stuff that I feel like they're going to add to the modern day era of GTA, and it's going to get a little bit crazy. I think you're going to come across different gangs and different places, and they've probably found the right people who can guide them to more accuracy and more consistent of how things kind of work in the current day era of like Florida or whatever. But I feel like that recruitment system is going to go a long way. Now, this one I wrote here in my notes, I know for a fact they're going to add this in here, because when you look at the screenshots, when you look at the trailers, they showed you so many different areas of Leonida and Vice City, and they wanted you to see that there's so many different beautiful vistas. Like, you have the city life, you have the countryside life, you have the basic like kind of neighborhood lifestyles, then you got the hoods, then you got this one area where it looks like you can hunt for days. And if you guys know Florida, I know from all the videos I've seen and all the stuff that, you know, even when I've traveled to, you know, when I went to Miami or just other places of Florida, alligators are a big issue. You have iguanas that are a big issue. You have people having to get permits to go ahead and, I think, fish for sharks or whatever in certain areas. I think they're going to have a lot of that. I think you're going to be able to hunt in that game. And especially since they have the Everglades in there, I think, even though the Everglades, I don't think you're allowed to even hunt in the Everglades. I think because people go out there for like tourists and shit. I'm just saying. But I feel like, and to some degree, you may have to get like your little license in there, just like how in GTA 5 you got to get a license, right, for your guns, I think online or whatever. In this case, I feel like you're gonna have to get a hunting license, and you could do side jobs there. You can hunt for alligators there. You can hunt for all types of things. There's a chance, I feel like, you might be able to do side jobs through the phone, just call back to the cell phone recruitment and stuff. You may be able to join job tasks, and some of them might be like, hey, I got an alligator in my pool, you know, the one that they showed in the trailer, or hey, we have this going on, or hey, can you do this for us? And it'll be like good ways to get some side cash, but you can also commit crimes at the same time. So I do feel like this is gonna happen, but hunting will be dope, because one big thing that they missed a mark on in GTA 5, they had wild animals in the countryside of Cali, or whatever you want to call it, Los Santos, whatever. But the thing is, I felt like that's where it stops. You can see them, you can probably shoot them, you can do whatever, but they don't have an actual like integral feature to live off of like some sort of hunting lifestyle. Red Dead did, yes. So I think merging that together, adding that in GTA 6 will be phenomenal. Now, last but not least at all, because we got a bonus toss-in. This one is where it's gonna hit to be like game of the year, story of the century. Decision-based missions. Decisions. Not QTEs, but you know those games that are huge narrative, like the Dark Pictures anthologies, the Telltale games, or even Shadow of Mordor, where they got a nemesis system. Is a little different. But you guys know those games where you make a decision and it may cause some consequences later. I feel like because Jason comes from a military background, we don't know if he has cop friends. We don't know if he has military friends. We don't know how close he is to authorities. We don't really know. We don't even know if he's undercover. We don't know. We also don't know Lucia's background story in terms of like what she indulged in after. We know she came from Liberty Cities. We also know that I think her mom wanted to live a dream, and she wanted to live off the dream that she wished her mom did, and that her mom wished she did, which I believe her mom was the girl that you dated, Carmen something from the cafe thing. That's just me thinking that, but I think that's her daughter. I think Lucia is her daughter. Yeah, whatever the case. So I feel like personally it's gonna cause a lot of like disruption in the game. I feel like as Lucia, you're gonna end up having to kill people that are close to Jason because of the mission, because you gotta get things done, because it's so important to get the task done. There's only one thing that matters, and that's the mission. You guys know with every duo movie, whether if it's a mafia movie, a gang movie, hood flick, one of them always folds. Y'all ever seen the movie American Me? Remember, he finally found a woman. Later on, he fell in love. He started having a change of heart. And what happened? They killed his ass at the end.
Wow!
Remember Blood In, Blood Out? They all go in. They all want to be gangsters. All vatos locals. They all want to be thugs. What happens? One of them gets shot in the foot. His leg is fucked up. I think, is it Miklo? I forgot who it is. He goes to jail. He stays a gangbanger, but one of them becomes a drug dealer painter. And the one that was the worst one of all of them changes his fucking life, goes to the military, becomes a cop, becomes all this. I see this. I see these decisions going crazy. And yeah, I know my movie shit. I love those movies. But I see these things happening. I feel like the decisions in the game is going to cause so much hurt, but I think it's going to be related to the story. I also feel like there's going to be a trust system joining gangs or something like that. I feel like they went in depth with that. I feel like that's possible. So y'all can break it down in the comment section, everything I done said, but let's do the toss up. Let's do the tossing. I said toss up, whatever, same thing. Will there be escorts? Will Jason cheat? Will Lucia cheat? I don't think there's male escorts walking around unless you're around Diddy, but will there be escorts? Because in GTA, that's always been around where you could bang up some escorts. We're gonna call them escorts.
Clever. Let's do some business. You ever heard of Tommy Vercetti, sweetheart? You will. You look like you know what you're doing.
Will Jason indulge in some cheating tactics? Will he be fucking on the side? Will he be doing things you're not supposed to be doing? Will there be, or they're gonna remove that feature from the game at this current state that we live in, which still exists? Y'all tell me. I personally feel like they're gonna allow Jason to do some shit, but guess what? Based on decisions, you better hope that social media ain't wilding, because I feel like you can go into your phone, find somebody that you hate, and go find their location and blick them. Same thing with escorts or whatever. We'll see what happens though. But that is my top 8, top 9 features that I feel like is gonna be in GTA. It's gonna be super huge. And these are based off of previous GTA games, as well as all the 2 trailers that we received from Rockstar, as well as all the screenshots and features that they've given us. This isn't like out of left field, my thoughts and fantasies, and I'm hoping they had, no, it seems more than likely. The way they put out trailers and everything, they want you to pay very close attention to certain things. While you're driving as Jason in that one trailer, there's women catcalling you or saying something, whatever, through there. They probably know you. Well, we never know. We don't know. Well, even though I look like more like a cutscene. I also feel like, just another throw in, they're changing up the cutscene model compared to the previous games. Like, I feel like it's more of a cinematic look than it is just the basic gameplay graphics. And then when you get into the game, you'll see it separate from the gameplay graphics from like their CGI look. So look, let me know what you guys think in the comment section below. Anything I've missed, please comment below. Let me know. Like, again, I don't know if there's going to be broken building infrastructures getting built in real time. I don't know. But drop your comments. I love you guys so much. We out of here. Peace.